Today I am playing Camilla, the Seed Miser. We are going to be playing squirrels of the slightly menacing kind. They're hungry, so don't be surprised if you see a lot of food.
Today I am playing Mabel Heir to Cragflame, the protagonist of the BloomBurrow storyline. This is mice and equipment. I'll be showcasing the new Valiant mechanic to boost Mabel as strong as possible.
I will be playing Muera, Trash Tactician. This will be showcasing a lot of the raccoon creature cards. Essentially, the deck will be revolving around me trying to spend a lot of mana and expend as often as possible.
We have Gev the Scaled Scorch. He is the lovely little lizard boy. It is going to be a lizard tribal deck with a focus of consistently doing small amounts of damage all of the time.
Before game begins, I have a trigger. I'm going to let a ley line of combustion.
I'm going to draw a card. And I'm going to play a tapped Axguard Armory for turn and pass.
I am going to go for a forest.
I am going to draw for turn. I am going to play a swamp and pass.
I'm going to play a forest, and I will also pass.
Untap, upkeep, and draw. Play a tapped Myriad Landscape for turn. Tap for white, and I'm going to play Steel Shaper's Gift to go find an equipment.
Untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to go for a Castle Carrienberg, which enters untap thanks to my other forest. Tapping for 2, I get a Keen-Eyed Curator, who's an absolute cutie.
He is an absolute cutie. That thing's adorable.
I'm going to go find a Bitterthorn, Nissa's Animus.
I pass turn.
I draw for turn. Mountain, and I will tap the tap and bring out my commander, and I will pass turn.
Untap and draw. I will play a command tower, and then I'm going to tap for 2 and play Pippin. He's a 2/2. I can pay 1 and tap to create a food token, and then I'll pass the turn.
Untapping, upkeeping, and play a mountain. Tap for 3, and I'm going to play this Bitterthorn, Nissa's Animus. When it enters, it has Living Weapon. It will make a 0/0 Phyrexian Germ that is attached to the Bitterthorn.
Living weapon is great. Roll.
Yeah. Making it a 1/1, and I will pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. A pathway. Tapping for 3 into Muera, Trash Tactician. And my absolute cutie is going to swing at Athel. Why not?
Cool.
That's a
I will
3/3
take
anyway.
3.
And then I'll pass turn.
2 mana 3/3 with graveyard removal that gets bigger. Seems good.
Yeah, I've
Yep.
got to say, in general, the raccoons are pretty solid stats.
Yeah, the only downside is that it's too green.
Untap, and draw. I think I want to be somewhat safe. So I am going to go Haunted Bridge. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands, which I do. So we're all good on that front. Tap 2 for Rakdos Signet. Pay 1 and tap, add 1 red and 1 black, 1 red, which I will do now to play Fireglass Mentor. At the beginning of your second main phase, if an opponent lost life this turn, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them. Until end of turn, you may play that card. However, that does cause a couple of triggers. So Gev triggers first. I am going to ping Mirth for 1 on the basis that they haven't taken damage yet, and it hurts me to ping at El Squishy. Red will remember this, which puts a +1/+1 counter on Fireglass Mentor when they enter. I then go to combat, pass through combat to second main phase, which means Fireglass Mentor does trigger, unfortunately. So I exile the top 2 cards in my library.
Choose one of them.
I choose one of them, but it doesn't particularly matter because I can't cast either. But for the point of it, I technically choose the castle.
Cool.
And then I pass them.
Untap, upkeep, and draw. Let's play another forest. Let's tap all 3 for Chitter Spitter. It is an artifact with, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a token. If you do, put a acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. Squirrels you control get a +1/+1 for each acorn on Chitter Spitter.
That is an amazing art.
I know!
Yeah. And you can tap a green to make a squirrel.
I know it's amazing. I love this so much. I know I'm probably going to get some backlash, but Merv, I'm going to swing at you with my 2/2.
Yeah, I'm not blocking.
Pippin goes to war.
Pippin goes to war. But yes, and then I will pass the turn.
I will untap, upkeep, and draw. Ooh, okay.
Those noises suggest that Mirth has just become priority number 1.
No, it's not crazy great. It's just might change what I want to do. I don't think it does. No, I don't think it does. Okay, well, let's start by going to combat. Turnabout's fair play. Have a germ, Athel.
Will do.
But on attack, I'll get to go
You
find a
go
basic
get
land. I am going to go find a mountain, actually, and it'll come in tapped, and I will shuffle. I will then go to my main phase 2, and I'm going to play 3 Tree City for turn. Then tap for 2 to tap and sacrifice Myriad Landscape to go and find 2 basics of the same type, which will be plains. With that, I'll
So-
pass the turn.
What creature type did you pick?
Oh, I'll pick mice.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Adding 2 mana from the commander. Emergent Zone enters the field. Very fun land if you've never heard of it.
Just nice because a similar land exists, but it's in Simic.
Which is
Alchemist
blue-green.
Yes, which is Alchemist Refuge, but Emergent Zone works in any deck because it's colorless.
Let's get spicy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's
Oof.
play Primeval Bounty. Whenever you cast a creature spell, make a 3/3 beast. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put 3 1/1 counters on target creature you control. Whenever a land enters under your control, gain 3 life.
That
Now
is
I've
quite
just
spicy.
extended 4, so I am going to tap it up by 3 life. End turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Bonk, bonk. And pay 1 to trigger that for a total of 4 mana to play Sinister Monolith. At the beginning of combat on your turn, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Tap, pay 2 life, sacrifice it, draw 2 cards. I am now going to combat,
We will each lose a life.
and I gain a whole 1. I now leave combat, going to my second main phase, which means Fireglass Mentor triggers, so I exile the top 2 cards of my deck again. Tomb Fortress Assad Robot. I'm going to take Tomb Fortress on the basis that I can actually play that. Tomb Fortress enters the battlefield tapped. And that doeseth end my turn. Athel, over to you.
Fabulous. I am going to untap, upkeep, and draw. Let's play another forest. I am going to pay 1 green and tap Chitter Spitter to make myself a lovely little squirrel. Then I'm going to pay 3 to bring out my commander. I'm going to ping Murph for 2.
Pippin goes to war.
Pippin is feeling bashy.
Out.
Pass the turn.
Okie dokes. Untap. Draw a card. Let's make that 7 mana. Tap for 1, 2, 3, 4 for Whisker Veil Forerunner. It's a 4 mana 3/4 with Valiant. So the first time it's targeted with a spell or ability I control, it'll do a thing. The thing it does is look at the top 5 cards of your library, reveal a creature card with mana value 3 or less among them, and put it onto the battlefield.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I will then tap for 1, 2, 3 for Mabel.
I love how Mabel's got a bow on her tail.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's so sweet and squishy.
Mabel is super cute. But that is going to make Whiskervale Forerunner a 4/5 because
Ooh.
Mabel gives +1/+1. But it's also going to make Cragflame go to combat. So I will swing my Germ Athel. On attack, I will go find a basic. Aplons that will enter tapped.
I'll just take the 1. Actually, no, you don't have any tricks and cantrips and anything because you don't have any mana open, so no, I'll block with my commander.
Okay. Germ goes Splot. And with that, I'll pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw, Rootbound Crag for turn. Then the 2 from Commander. And 1, 2. into a Maskwood Nexus. This is an artifact which reads creatures I control at every creature type.
Oh, it's like a colourless version of Conspiracy.
Oh,
Which-
this is hilarious. I think I've got a squirrel somewhere in my deck, which gets +1/+1 for every squirrel on the board.
You do. You do.
That might actually go in my favor.
I have a lizard version of the same rules.
I spent 4, so I'm going to gain another 3 life. I've tapped out the Maskwood Nexus to make a shapeshifter, and I think I'm going to end turn.
Cool. Untap, upkeep, and draw. And I've got to keep my brain into a really weird gear because I've now got to start playing in a really unusual way. I go to combat, Sinister Monument triggers. You'll lose 1, I gain 1. I end combat going into my second main phase, so I exile 2 cards. Swamp and Commander Sphere. I'm going to pick Commander Sphere. I'm going to play said Commander Sphere. I'm going to play Swamp for turn. Tap 1 to trigger Rakdos' Signet. Tap Tomb Fortress to play Hearthborn Battler. It is a 2/3. Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, it deals 2 damage to target opponent. And it's going to enter with 3 1/1 counters because 3 people took damage.
On pass, it's also going to ping someone because of Gev.
Yes. I am going to ping Athel. They are ever so slightly lower life.
I'm guessing
So
you mean
1
higher.
damage?
1 higher, yes, 1 damage. And then lastly, because I can see how this is kind of going board state wise, I'm going to tap 1 on the Commander Sphere and I'm going to play the Ozolith.
Yep.
Ooh.
And I'm going to pass turn.
I am going to untap. In my upkeep, I'm not going to have my creature be sacrificed to the Chitter Spitter. And I'll go to my draw. I will play a Swamp for turn. I'm going to tap a green and tap Chitter Spitter to create a second squirrel token. And then I am going to tap 1, 2, 3 to cast Growing Rights. When Growing Rights of Iklamok enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest to the bottom of your library in any order. So let's see what we got.
I removed this from my deck because I was like, this is too powerful.
So you may reveal a creature card from among them, and only one of those is creatures. So I will be grabbing the Valley Mighty Caller, and that gets put into my hand and put the rest on the bottom of my library in any order. I am also going to tap my command tower to pay 1 and tap Pippin to make a food token. I don't plan on going to combat this turn, so it will then go to my end step. At the beginning of my end step, if you control 4 or more creatures, which I now do because I didn't sacrifice one of my 2 squirrels, I get to transform Growing Rights into Cradle of the Sun. Tap for green or add green to your mana pool for each creature you control. And I pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep. I don't have any triggers. Draw. Okay, neat. Let's tap for 2, and I'm going to play Robe of Stars. Going to then tap for 1 and move to equip Robe of Stars to my Whisker Veil. Valiant will trigger because it's the first time this turn that I'm targeting it with an ability I control.
Mm-hmm.
So I will look at the top 5 cards of my library and reveal a creature with mana value 3 or less, etc., etc. Seedglaive Mentor, and I am going to put it onto the battlefield. I will then actually equip that, grab a power toughness marker, because Seedglaive Mentor is a Vigilance Haste 4/3 currently, thanks to Mabel. Seedglaive Mentor has Valiant, put a 1/1 counter on.
Nice.
Tap for 1 and a red for Emberheart Challenger. 2 mana 2/2 with haste and prowess. Valiant, exile the top card of my library until the end of turn. I may play that card. I am then going to tap for 1 and 2 to tap 3 Tree City for 4 mana because I control 4 mice. Use 3 of it to move to equip Bitterthorn to my Seedglaive Mentor. But that is Valiant as well, so it's going to get its 1/1 counter. And Bitterthorn is going to give it +1/+1 as well. So it's now a 6/5 vigilance haste that gets me a land when I attack. Will then use my last floating mana to move to equip Robe of Stars from Whiskervale Forerunner over to Emberheart Challenger, triggering Valiant, which will let me exile the top card of my library, and until end of turn I can play it. Be a land. Hey! I will play that land for turn. And that is going to give +0/+3 to Emberheart Challenger. No prowess triggers so far, but I will then go to combat because I have a board of things.
I have a board of things. I have a board of things.
Whoa, well, I definitely want to attack with a Seaglaive. Athel has been picking on me, but is also on the lowest life. Both of my other opponents are above starting life, and that makes me uncomfortable.
Whenever you feel uncomfortable, just look into Gev's eyes. He's so happy.
Swing Emberheart Challenger at red, Seaglaive Mentor at squish, and Whiskervale Forerunner at red as well. On attack, I'll go find a basic. And
So
shuffle.
I'm going to put my 5/6 in front of your 4/5, and then I'm going to take the 3.
No blocks. I take the 6.
Okay, before damage, I'm going to tap a white. I am going to cast From and Get It, not gifting the food, targeting my Whiskervale Forerunner, give it 2/2.
Making it a 6/7. Nice.
Yep. But that is my second spell of the turn.
Yeah, so I will do, because technically this isn't dead yet, this goes onto the stack. I'll do 2 damage to you, Murph, since I can't target creatures.
Cool. That is also going to make Emberheart Challenger 1 bigger because of prowess.
And I
But-
still take
4
4.
prowess.
Oh, yeah.
And Squish takes 6 from Seaglaive Mentor.
Yep.
Well, I did things. I think that was things. So I'll pass the turn.
You certainly did things.
Untap, upkeep, draw. I have 3 raccoons, so I'm going to tag up that mana. Playing a forest for turn and gaining 3 life thanks to Primeval Bounty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Into Gyred's Belligerence, where X equals 7. I get to deal X damage divided how I choose amongst any number of target creatures. Whenever a creature dealt damage this way dies this turn, populate 5 to the Whiskervale Forerunner, and I'm going to do 2 lots of 1 to these 2 squirrels.
In reaction,
Yes.
I'm going to tap my Cradle of the Sun for 4 before you go and make that ability drop lower.
Yep.
I'm going to cast Archdruid's Charm, and I am going to pick Search your library for a creature or land card and reveal it. I'm going to go get Tim and put him in my hand.
Hi, Tosky.
Hi,
Call you
Tusky!
Art and Tosky. Belligerence will resolve.
My 2 little squirrels will go pop,
So there's
and
been
my 1 other
3
mana will fizz.
There's been 3 deaths, and I can populate 3 times. Now, populate can only target tokens you own. Oh, I've cast a non-creature spell, so another 3/3 is made. Now I'll put that on Shapeshifter. I'm then going to, swing Shapeshifter at red. Woo!
I'm going to take the 5.
All right, I'll then turn there, so it is your turn now.
Right, untap, upkeep, and draw. I move to combat. So, Sinister Monolith, everybody takes 1 damage, I gain 1 life. I'm going to put the 3/1/1 counters onto the Fireglass Mentor. I then end combat, going to beginning a second main phase, so I exile 2 cards. Deathgazer, Alloy Mirror. I'm going to take Deathgazer, so Alloy Mirror goes out. I then cast Deathgazer. I cast Deathgazer, it enters with 3/1/1 counters. I cast a Lizard, so I'm going to get... Oh, you two are on the same life. I hate Ley Line of Combustion.
It is doing bad things to your strategy.
Yeah, I'm going to deal 1 damage to Murph. I feel like you've got the better board state. Pay 1 to activate Rakdos Signet, and then Command Sphere for 3 mana to summon the Cunning Spark Mage. Not a Lizard, don't get to deal damage, does get 3/1/1 counters, however. And then I pass turn.
Amazing. I am going to untap. I will go to my upkeep. I am going to sack the food token to the Chitter Spitter so that then the Chitter Spitter will have a acorn counter on it. So now squirrels I control will get +1/+1 due to there being 1 counter on it. I will then go to my draw.
You sacrifice the food.
I did. Yes, so I do get a lovely little squirrel. I'm going to tap 1 forest and we are going to play Valley Might Cooler. Trample 1/1 whenever another frog, rabbit, raccoon, or squirrel you control enters, put a 1/1 counter on him. I'm then going to tap 1 green and 3 others to play Dusky, which means.
You sure you want to just tap your cradle for 1?
Oh, no, sorry, my bad. Yep, I did. I thought that was a normal land for half a second then. Right. No, nice thing. I have 4 creatures out. So the Cradle alone would be able to do Toski. And because I've just played a squirrel, Valley will get a +1/+1. Going to play land for turn, which is going to be Rogue's Passage. I am going to tap and we will pay 1 green to be able to make another squirrel token, which means that goes up to 2, making him a nice little 3/3 trample. Pay 1 and tap Pippin to make a food. If I go 1, 2, we will forage, sacrificing the food, putting a 1/1 counter on each squirrel I control.
Because you sacrifice the food as cost, you get to make the squirrel off your commander before putting the 1.
Nice. So those guys will get a 1/1 counter thanks to Camilla's ability. Great.
Squirrel entered, so your Valley Might Caller gets another 1.
Oh, yes, thank you. Spend my last green. So that's 1 green. And then 2, 3. Tap him for 4. And I am going to cast Nissa's Expedition. Search your library for 2 basic land cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped. And that will then be the end of my turn.
I will go ahead and untap, draw. Neat. Those blue shapeshifters are mildly annoying. I am going to... Let's tap for 1, 2, 3. And I am going to play Thistledown Players.
Oh, I love the art on this one.
Yeah, Dancy Mouse Bard. Whenever it attacks, untap target non-land permanent. I will then tap for 2 to tap 3-Tree City for 4 mana. I'm going to use 3 of it for Sword of Hearth and Home. I'm going to use 1 for it and 1 more to move to equip Crag Flame. Going to pay 1 to equip, moving to re-equip Roman Stars 2 Emberheart Challenger, so I can trigger the Valiant. Exile the top card of my library. I may play it this turn. It is Canyon Jerboa. I think that's unfortunately going to be staying in exile. Go to combat and attacking with everything. Mabel is going to be going at Squishy. Thistledown players at Athel. Seedglaive Mentor and Emberheart are going to be going at red. Before we move away from attackers, the attack step, I'm going to tap red and white to play inventory management. For each aura and equipment I control, I may attach it to a creature. I also have a Thistledown players on the stack to untap target non-land permanent. I'm going to target Seaglaive Mentor with it and just resolve. I also have an attack trigger on the Bitterthorn, but I'll do that in a minute. But I'm going to move to put everything on Mabel.
Oh.
1, 2, 3. That's a prowess trigger for Emberheart Challenger, and Mabel is chonky. So Mabel is a 3/3, getting an additional +2/+2. Let's grab a counter. So Mabel is a 3/3, getting an additional 2, an additional 1. Also actually that had vigilance because it had Crag Flame when it attacked. Getting an additional 1 and then an additional 3 toughness. It's also got pro green and pro white. It's also got Vigilance, Trample, and Haste, but it's already tapped to attack, so the Vigilance won't trigger.
I will be blocking with Tusky, as he is indestructible. He is currently also 3/3.
Yeah, my plan was to make you think you couldn't do that because it had Trample, but I needed to do it before. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Emberheart Challenger is a 5/5?
Currently, yes. 7/10 pro green, pro white commander coming at you, Squish.
Cool. I'm in the weird position where I've actually got blue creatures.
Yeah, I know. I'm really annoyed.
So I'm going to chump.
It's got trample.
Is it worth chumping still? Probably not. Yeah, I'll let it through. Why not?
Cool. I'll order the blockers on Emberheart Challenger. So, ooh, that's tricky. Because what you've got 5. You've got 6 toughness. 6 toughness, 5 power. If only I had enough mana, I could play one more thing and prowess it.
6 toughness, 6 damage.
Oh,
Gev's
yeah,
3.
Kev's
Yeah.
3. Yeah. I am going to. Yeah, I'm going to murder Gev.
That's fair.
And my Emberheart Challenger will also go splat. I'm just going to move this to the side because when I delete things, things go wrong. But I now have a combat damage trigger. Oh no, yeah, these two as well. You've got Deathgazer going at Seaglaive Mentor.
So 5/5, but at the end of combat, you're destroyed anyway.
Blocks or becomes blocked. Destroy that creature at the end of combat. Okay, that's important. So yours dies.
Yep.
Mine will die at the end of combat.
Yep.
But I now have a Sword of Hearth and Home trigger because I dealt combat damage to a player. So I'm going to exile up to 1 target creature I own and search my basic both on the battlefield under my control. I'm going to exile the Seaglaive Mentor and then return it, meaning it will lose its 1/1 counters.
Yes.
But then, yeah, I'll go get a basic and pass.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Playing a land for turn and also adding 6 mana. Also going to gain 3 life for playing a land. I'm then going to use 5 of that mana to play a Sprout Swarm along with its buyback cost. Sprout Swarm is an interesting card. So I've essentially spent 5 mana to make just 1 Saproling. But as it resolves, the spell will come back to my hand. Now, 2 things happen. I've expended 4, so I'm going to gain 3 life. I've also cast a non-creature spell, so I put 3 1/1s on a creature. I then think I'm just going to go and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a Sprout Swarm, and its buyback cost. Cloning the 3/3s that occur because I've cast a non-creature spell, and I've expended 8, so I exile the top 2 cards of my library. I can play them until the end of next turn, and it returns to hand as I resolve. I'm then going to pass turn to red.
Untap, upkeep, draw. Tap 4 mana total. So 2 from Signet, 2 from other sources. Like that. To get Gev back. I'm then going to go to combat because Gev's counters don't affect themselves. So Ozolith then moves 3 counters. So I'm going to move the 3 onto Gev because I'm liking to split up my damage now. Then Sinister Monolith triggers. So everybody loses a life and I gain a life. I then move out of combat. So Fireglass Mentor triggers. So I exile 2 cards. Mountain and Spear Spewer. Ooh. I'm going to pick Spear Spewer, I think. Spear Spewer comes in, it gets 3+1/+1 counters. Perfect. Spear Spewer, tap, deal 1 damage to each player. I'm then going to tap 2, and I'm going to play 3-tree mascot. You may have the city, but I have the mascot. It gets so Gev triggers because it is technically a lizard coming in, so I deal 1 damage to a player of my choice. I'm going to pick Murphy because they hurt me.
Yeah.
And then it enters with 3+1/+1 counters on it. And that ends my turn.
I am going to untap. I will do my upkeep where I will allow the Chitter Spitter to eat one of the squirrels.
Num 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 squirrel.
Num 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 squirrel, increasing the number of acorns by 1. So now all of my squirrels get +2/+2 from the Chitter Spitter. Go to my draw step and draw a card. Tap 1 forest to play Gilded Goose. When it enters, create a food token.
The goose.
The goose.
That goose needs to be the biggest bastard in the game, or it's not a real goose.
Bonk.
Honk.
I am then going to tap the Cradle of the Sun for 7, as there are 7 creatures. And I am going to play Pedon Blade for 3, and then put the other 4 floating into its equip cost, which I'm going to put on to Tusky.
But I'm the equipment deck.
Then steal it.
I mean, I kind of can.
Don't complain.
Murph says,
Just do.
tempting.
Unfortunately, its effect isn't that good for me.
But
No, it's good
the
for my sort of decks, which go
principle.
wide.
Yeah.
This equipment gives the creature +1/+1 for each creature you control. So it's currently giving Tusky +7/+7, in addition to his 4 that he currently has due to being 1/1 with a 1/1 counter and 2 1/1s from Chitter Spitter.
It's not terrifying.
Ah, not at all.
I'm sure it's fine.
And I'm going to play Bonebind Orator. He is a cute little 2/2.
Valley might call her.
Cause a squirrel entered, he gets to go up 1. And then I am going to go to combat. Tap 4 and Rogue's Passage to make Toski unblockable. Then Toski, who currently is a
11/11, I think.
there's 8 creatures now. So 12/12.
I think the appropriate word is meat.
Toski's going to have to swing at someone, and it is going to be Squishy. Squishy, take 12. Unblockable.
What did I do?
You're on the
Have
most
too
help.
much life.
You have too much life. So that one is the only one going at Squishy, and then my 2 little squirrel tokens are going to swing at Murph. They are both menace, and they are both 4/4s.
I don't want to take 8, but I also don't really want to lose my stuff. Well, I'm going to declare no blocks.
Yeah,
Cool.
me too.
Awesome. 8 to Murphy and 12 to Squishy. And then off the back of Tusky, I get to draw 3 cards. And then I'm going to play land for turn, and I'll pass the turn.
Okie dokes. Well, that was painful. Let's untap, draw a card. What did the top of my deck give me? Good things. That changes a lot.
Yay.
I'm going to tap for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to play Promise of Loyalty. Each player puts a vow counter on a creature they control and sacrifices the rest. Each of those creatures can't attack me or planeswalkers I control.
Oh, no! This is not what I wanted.
Promise of Loyalty is such a good Voltron board wipe.
I've got a response, if that's cool.
Yeah?
I'm just gonna cast Sprout Swarm twice with its buyback cost using Convoking of my creatures that are about to die. I'm doing it because it pops off 2 copies of Primeval Bounty. So my commander will be given 6 +1/+1s, and also the vow counter. Also, make me expend 4 and 8. So I gain 3 life, and I exile the top 2 cards of my library. I can play them until end of next turn.
I will have to sacrifice my own creatures to this, but
I am stuck between a decision of what out of 2 creatures do I have? Do I keep my commander, or do I keep the one that lets me keep exiling things? Because card advantage.
Good choice.
I think I'm going to go for the card advantage, in all honesty. Because I can just get my commander back. They're just expensive now. In reaction, I tap Spark Mage and deal 1 damage to Murphy. And I have 12 +1/+1 counters going to the Ozolith.
Could spend my mana and get Pippin to make a food before he goes.
yes. That's a thing.
Awesome. He's going to make a snack, and then he's going to accidentally leave it where he was hanging out and be then sad later that he hadn't remembered
That he
to take
ran
it
off
with him.
without eating it.
Yeah.
Very Hobbit powers.
I'm going to keep Toski.
Cool. Well, Toski will get a vow counter, which means for as long as it has that counter, it can't attack me or planeswalkers I control. I quite like Promise of Loyalty because it puts a vow counter on my thing as well, which means if anyone nicks it, they can't hit me with it.
That's pretty funny.
I am going to tap that just very slightly differently. Cool. That leaves me with what? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 mana. So I could do that, leaving me with 1. Yeah, maybe. I am going to go combat. Yeah, red. Mabel's going to swing at you. They
How
are a
big?
7/10 vigilant trample that's going to go get me a basic.
In fear of making a mistake, I am going to take the 7.
Well, on attack, I'll go get a basic. On damage, I am going to choose 0 target creatures I own and search my library for another basic, and you will take 7 commander damage. So I'll get 2 basics. I'm not choosing any creatures because it is up to 1, and I don't want to have to re-equip all those. Actually, to be fair, the I didn't notice the one off Hearth and Home comes in untapped. So untapped planes. I will pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. First things first, I'm going to play Rogue's Passage from Exile, gaining 3 life thanks to Primeval Bounty. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to cast Kodama of the West Tree. This is a 3/3 reach with modified creatures you control have trample. And whenever a modified creature you control deals damage to a player, I get to search for a basic land and put it on the battlefield. Then I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into an Invasion of Encoria. And I'm going to make X equal to 3. Yeah. So I get to search my library or graveyard for a non-human creature of casting cost 3 or less and put it on the battlefield. Also, I'm attaching the battle to Athel. I believe the card I'm going to choose is a little puppy called Taurian Mauler.
Yeah, fair.
Because I need blockers that aren't, what are your
Green or white?
exclusions? Green or white, yeah. I was like, man, I've got to have a different colour in here. I've got to have a red creature somewhere that's good. I've cast 2 creature spells. Actually, no. I cast a creature spell and a non-creature spell. So I make a beast. And I also put 3 counters on something. I think I'm actually going to choose Dharma. I've also expended 4 and 8. So gaining 3 life. Exiling the top 2 cards. I'm not going to have a chance to play Beda, so I'm just going to put it into exile permanently from here. Oh, that's 2 lands. Lovely. Proceeding to combat, I'm going to swing Mwera at the battle. An 8/10 coming at the battle that you're defending, Athel.
Yep. I can't do anything about that.
Kodama's ability does not trigger because it's combat damage to players, not battles. But now that this has been defeated, it comes under my control as its flipped side, as the Lortha Apex of Ikoria. And fun fact, he is a raccoon.
Totally.
He was a raccoon
Definitely.
before he hit the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
End turn, over to red.
Untap, upkeep, draw, or rotate deck apparently. Oh, that's beautifully ironic. Do I have the mana for all of this in one go? And do I have a way to deal with the massive problem I'm about to create? No, I gotta do this sensibly. If I don't do this sensibly, I accidentally end it for myself and everyone else.
I mean, that's a very red thing to do.
Sensible. Priest of the Forgotten Gods. I move to combat.
Yep.
Sinister Monolith triggers, everybody takes 1 damage. I gain 1. Countered move off of the Ozolith. I put them onto the Fireglass Mentor. Oh, this puzzle's a bit more complicated than I thought it was. It's fine.
You don't have to move them. You
No,
can leave
I
them
don't
on the
have
Ozolith.
to, so I won't. I'm going to leave them be. Move out of combat. Fireglass Mentor triggers. So, exile 2 cards. I may play one of them.
Oh, Maha.
Neat. I'm going to pick Maha. 2.
Are you tracking your Taurian Mauler squish?
No, guiltily. And
Creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1.
Right, that's going to be complicated for Mabel.
Toski is having a field day, however.
Yeah, Toski's base is already 1.
No change! Huzzah!
Important to note, it doesn't include myself. Pass
Yeah.
them.
Awesome. I am going to untap in my upkeep. Food is going to get chitter spitted. So food will upping my chitter spit to 3. I will then draw for turn. Let's play a land for turn. Just gonna swap these over.
Just FYI, in case people don't know, Taurian Mauler gets a 1/1 counter every time we cast a spell.
Awesome.
Yes.
I haven't cast anything yet.
Can I ask a rules question?
Go on.
No, you must guess. No,
Fine. Zornaroth, Apex of Ikoria. For each non-human creature you have,
Yeah,
how does that work in regards to things that are every creature type?
they are humans.
Awesome. So currently,
It's not doing
Because-
anything.
yeah, because Squishy has a card that makes everything all creatures, it does nothing.
oh, dude, that's hilarious. Yeah.
That is important. That's
You've
real
non-mode.
important.
You've non-mode.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to play 3 to play Chitterfang. If 1 or more tokens would be created under my control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 squirrel tokens are created instead. I'm going to pay 1 green to make a squirrel token,
And therefore make a squirrel token.
and therefore make a squirrel token. What we're going to do, we're going to tap 1 swamp and 1 forest, and we're going to bring out Vine Reap Mentor. When it enters the battlefield or dies, create a food token. It's entered the battlefield, so I'm going to create a food.
And a squirrel.
And by doing so, I'm going to create another squirrel.
Squirrels!
Creature number is now up to 6. I am now...
Chatterfang is just bonkers.
Love Chatterfang. I'm now going to tap the Cradle of the Sun for 6. Spend 5 of that to bring out Camilla.
You'll need to add black.
That's fine. I'll add black, add green. So I've still got 3 floating. Camilla comes out. That is a 3rd spell, Squishy. I'm going to tap a 4th and Rogue's Passage to trigger Rogue's Passage, making Tusky unblockable. Currently back up to a
It's
12.
12-12 again. Tusky really likes being a 12-12.
It's just a very nice round number. We are then going to go to combat. Tusky has to swing. Squishy's on the most. So, Squishy, take another 12 from Tusky.
Oh, he has to swing, but not at Squishy.
It does have to swing at Squishy or Red. It can't swing at me.
Yes.
Squishy thinks this is bullshit.
And I'll draw because I booped someone. And that'll be the end of my turn.
In your end step. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, is that right? Yep, including 2 red and a white. And I'm going to tap and sacrifice Axgard Armory to go and find an equipment and or an aura. Hammer of Nazan and Gift of Immortality. And they will get added to my hand. I will then untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Tap for 1. Just going to spread these out a little bit. 2, 3, 4 for Hammer of Nathan. When Hammer of Nathan enters the battlefield under your control, I may attach it to target creature I control. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has indestructible. It's going to equip to Mabel, my only current creature. I'll then tap for 1 to play Lava Spur Boots, equipping it to Mabel thanks to Hammer of Nathan. Tap for 1, 2, 3 for Gift of Immortality, equipping it to Mabel. When enchanted creature dies, return it to the battlefield under its control and return Gift of Immortality to the battlefield attached to that creature at the beginning of the next end step. Just a little bit of insurance.
Understandable.
Who am I currently the most scared of? Oh, I also get another +1/+0 from the Lava Spur. Go to combat, swing at Mabel at red.
Please don't. You will doom us all one day, Murph, with your arrogant attacks.
That's the plan. That's literally the plan.
10,
Well.
10-8, taking into account base toughness of 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Open mana check.
5.
2 red, 2 white, and a card in hand.
3 white. And I'll get to go get a basic on attack, but it'll come in tapped.
And does have trample.
Yes, and indestructible.
Yeah, which is annoying. So I am just trying to deny damage down, which I don't think is worth it. I'm going to take the 10 and go to 17 commander damage and 19 health remaining. Any response to that?
Nope.
Cool.
This is not your end. I'll go to main phase 2. No, on combat damage, I'll get a Sword of Hearth and Home trigger. I am again going to choose 0 creatures, but I'm going to go get a basic. Grab another mountain. That one actually comes in untapped. And with that, I'll pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. I think I'm going to do Oak Hollow Village from exile. Just going to put the other mountain into exile since it's unplayable. With 5 creatures on the field, I get access to 5 mana at the start. I'm going to drop all of it for a buybacked Sprout Swarm, making a 1/1 tiny fellow.
I'm getting 3 +1/+1 counters.
3 1/1 counters, yep, he knows it. And an Expend 4, which I use to gain 3 life. So that's been 5 mana. And I'm going to use another 4 to play Leyline Immersion, which will come attached to... It's attached to Zalortha. Zalortha now has the ability to tap for 5 mana of any combination. This mana can only be used to cast spells.
Balls!
Not abilities.
Not abilities. I am going to... I'm going to swing... I think I'll just swing Torian over Athel's way. So that's a 6/6 coming your way, Athel.
With trample.
I will put Vine Reap Mentor in the way, taking 2 of the damage, and the other 4 will hit me.
Wasn't
you-
Vine Mentor a squirrel?
Oh, yes. No, Vine Reap is a squirrel. So it currently is a 6/5.
So 1 damage still goes through, but both die. Whoops.
Yes. And as mine dies, I get food. Snacks!
Ah, but I also get a basic land search.
Because you got food, you get squirrel.
Yes.
I know, Chatterfang.
Oh, I've
I
also
like
expended
Chatterfang.
8. So I'm just gonna exile those 2 off the top of my library and then end my turn.
Untap, draw. This isn't the most ideal turn ever created, but it is an important turn for this game. Tap for 2. There's your other red. 4, 3, 4. Awesome. I pay for the 5, and I play Reptilian Recruiter. When it enters, choose target creature. If that creature's power 2 or less, or if I control another lizard, which I do, I gain control of it until the end of the turn. It has haste. Targeting the apex of Ikoria. The wards then trigger. It is ward 2 and Leyline of Combustion triggers. I will pay both.
Cool. Any responses?
I suppose I could tap it, but it'd just get untapped, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just unless you can use that mana.
There's 2 ways I could use it. Okay, we're fine. I think I'm gonna tap it and do the one with the Kami.
One with the Kami is a non-creature.
I'm also going to, because I've got 1 floating mana,
You've also expended 4.
that goes up, and non-creature, so I'm going to put the 3/3 on Sapling. I think I'm actually going to tap another 4 mana for Sprout Swarm buyback. So a 3/3, exiling 2.
Awesome.
So the Leyline Immersion is currently controlled by Squishy, but is attached to Zilortha, which is controlled by Red, just in case that matters.
So I would like to approach the negotiating table.
All right.
Who with exactly?
Don't worry, Squishy, you're not invited.
I could have seen that one coming. No one invites the raccoons.
Who's being invited to the room where it happens?
Murphy.
Damn.
Athol.
Oh, okay.
I would like to state, actually going off a little harder than it looks when you really take into account the amount of mana it's spilling out at every single moment at this point. I can kill him this turn, but that would leave me incredibly open.
I'll give you a turn of not being hit by Mabel.
Yeah, all I'm asking is for a turn to get things back in place.
If you kill Squishy, I physically can't not swing Toski at you.
That is a firm point. Though you could choose for it to not be road passaged.
I can move the equipment off.
As long as I can jump block it, it's fine.
Didn't realise I was playing Magic with a bunch of schemers.
Politics is a thing.
Yeah.
Get good.
Connivers. Except your creatures don't have connive.
Having discussed this, I move away from the negotiating table. I would like to then move to combat. So firstly, Sinister Monolith triggers, so everybody takes 1 damage and I gain 1 life. Then the Orzelith triggers, so I'm going to put these 12 +1/+1 counters. I will put them on the Flying Bird instead.
Dang it!
So Zilortha, which is currently 11. Maya, which is currently 18 for a total of 29. And Fireglass Mentor for another 6.
Is 35.
35. I have now declared attackers.
I think the only thing to do is set appropriate blockers. You know, Trash Tactician. I think blocking that makes sense. I think.
Yep, go out with a wee bit of spite.
Yeah. There's nothing like just going out with a little bit of attitude. And all I can do is put all of these other ones in front of the other one, because I have a flying weakness. My solution to flyers was literally just to gain enough life that it doesn't matter.
Awesome. Apex of Ikoria, all 3 of them do combat damage as if they weren't blocked. You take 35.
I tap all my creatures to bypass cast Sprout Swarm, I guess. Making
one more time.
Yeah, one more time. Just put it on the trash panda.
Those 2 are fine, and that one dies. And I get rid of my little token. Ha 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 ha! I end my turn.
Right.
Yeah, that 18-17 flying bird with ward discard a card isn't terrifying at all.
No, of course not. Untap. I will upkeep, sacking a food to up Chitter Spitter. In doing so, I am triggering my commander. Whenever you sack one or more foods, I get a squirrel. Whenever I create anything, I get another squirrel. So I, in fact, make 2 squirrels. So
One
many
squirrel.
squirrels.
Chitter, chitter, chitter.
Chitter,
2
chitter,
squirrels.
chitter,
Chitter, chitter.
I will then go to draw, tap 1 green. No, not you. 1 green to tap Chitter Spitter to make another squirrel. Therefore making 2 squirrels. Ta-da! They're all 5/5s.
Eat.
I currently have, 8 tokens plus 3 others. So I'm going to tap Cradle of the Sun for 11, 4 of which I'm going to use to re-equip the equipment off of Tusky, as I did say I was going to do that. So that has been moved over to my commander. So I tapped that for 11. I've only spent 4, so I have got 7 floating mana. I am going to spend 4 of that to tap Rogue's Passage, making my commander unblockable, leaving me with 3. I will spend 2 more of that to cast Overprotect on my commander, giving it +3/+3, trample, and hexproof. I will then go to combat, and I will swing Toski at red, and I'm going to swing Camilla at Murphy,
GG.
which should take Murphy out with commander damage for 21 exactly.
I'm on 18 life.
Well, anyway, 21 commander damage. Pow.
You didn't need the overprotect. I was already dead.
I panicked you were going to cast something.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a lot of mana.
Can I get a strength check of Tusky?
6/6 indestructible.
I'll block with Reptilian Recruiter.
I draw 1 card from killing Murphy. That goes in the bin. So, second main phase. Tusky can come down here because he is tapped. I am going to... I've got a thing in my graveyard. Let me just go find it. Bonebind Orator. I can pay 4 to exile him from my graveyard and return another target creature card from my graveyard to my hand. Tap 4. I am going to grab Valley Mightcaller, and that will go to my hand and pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw. But you're going to find this probably very funny.
Go on.
Right, so I go to combat. Sinister Mollusk triggers. You take 1 damage, I gain 1 life.
Of course.
I believe you don't have anything with flying or reach at the moment.
Correct.
+1/+1 counters from Ozolith go on to Big Bird, making it a lot. 16, 22.
Very nice.
It is attacking you.
There's not a ton I can do about that, so I will take the 22 damage, putting me on 4. I hope you appreciate I stuck to my word and I didn't swing at you with my 8 5/5s. Well, no, I would only been able to swing with 4 of them, but
I very appreciate it.
I didn't swing at you with 20 damage.
This is where it gets real funny.
Are you going to kill me with ping damage?
I end combat.
Uh-huh.
I pay 3 Cindering Cutthroat. I tap Priest of the Forgotten Gods to sacrifice 2 creatures. I sacrifice these 2. You take 2 damage.
Okay.
I then get to draw a card, and I get 2 black mana in my mana pool. So this is why it's really funny. That is all of the ways I currently have to do you damage.
Wait, you can't hit me for another one.
No, but I have a bunch of ways to draw.
Okay, come on. I want to see if you can actually kill me with a flip-flop. Like, I just want one of your lizards to march over, flip-flop in hand, and backhand my squirrel commander.
So there is a load of counters on the Ozolith, just for the point of... Okay, so I didn't hit anything from that one. So I am now going to tap my Commander Sphere to add a red mana into my mana pool. I'm then going to sacrifice it to draw another card.
Is it the answer? Am I dead?
It's not the answer.
So you're going to take 2 health and...
So I tap 2 and sacrifice the Sinister Monolith to draw 2 cards?
Yep.
Yeah, draw 2 cards. That one. Can I afford it? 1, 2, because that's costed to pay there. So that's 3. I can. 4, 5 is enough to play. Glide Dive Duo. Flying 3/3. When it enters, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life.
That'll do it.
You killed me with a flip-flop!
I killed you with an enter of the battlefield flip-flop, which is also a lizard. It's a bat lizard. Very weird. And it is a common from BloomBurrow.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, as this is something a little new for us. If you wouldn't mind a quick like and subscribe, it would help us out a lot, and show us that you'd like more videos like this in the future. I also want to say a quick thank you to Red, Murphy and Squishy for joining the game. I've been really excited for the Bloomburrow set, and it's been a joy to play.